Hey everybody, it's Jeannie at Richland Sewing Center on Monday, and I'm over in the annex classroom today because I'm busy. We had a really nice weekend. We had classes here on Saturday, and then after church yesterday, I did sit down and watch a Hallmark movie for a little while, and then ran some errands and did some things like that. Went to the flower shop to get some plants to put on the front porch. Got the Easter decorations out, so my decorated goose and my eggs and things like that are on the front porch. Hopefully we'll have our egg hunt at our house on Sunday. We have piñatas for the grandkids and things, but it may rain then, so I'm not really sure. And then we ended the day with a birthday party for Brian, who is the youngest of all the grandkids, and he turned 5 yesterday, so that was kind of fun too. I have been working on this quilt. I think I showed you a picture of this last week, which this is the quilt, and there's quite a bit of applique in it. Some of the applique, you have to do the piece blocks and then put a little piece of applique in the middle. I've got these put together and the gingerbread put together and the cookies put together. I'm excited. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I haven't stitched anything yet, but I've got them on here. So this is my tree, and these are the cookies. These are sideways, of course. And then the gingerbread still needs a little more decoration, and I'm going to use decorative stitching on that instead of cutting some of those out. I've been using the scan and cut as much as I can, but some of the pieces are tiny, so I haven't had really an opportunity to use the scan and cut for everything. So now I'm starting on the piecing part, and I'm going to go to the machine in just a minute to show you a tip and a new little notion that I just have to have. I don't own one yet, but I'm going to have one. What we got in today are the Kimberbell kits for the Star Spangled Beauty. This is the kit. It comes in a box, and I know it looks backwards from where you're seeing it. What's inside the kit is all the fabric. Let me get this in the right spot. Is all the fabric to make this. So there's quite a bit of fabric in here. Also in it is, this is the ladder quilt. This is a picture of what the quilt looks like. And I love it when they do these books because the directions in here are wonderful. There's color pictures all the way through for all the different steps. So the code for the embroidery download is in the book. There's a lot of pictures. You can kind of see in relation to a person there how big the quilt is. And I think it says, no, it doesn't say, but I think you've seen some here. They're about 4 feet tall. You know, I should have looked that up before I started here. And I don't, 20 by 60, found it. So it's 20 by 60 with a lot of beautiful embroidery. And the neat thing is, we've got the embellishment kit, which is this. So this has a lot of fun stuff in it. There's some lacy trims and some ribbons and some printed tapes and things, and then some special products that you would use for part of the embroidery. So that's in the embellishment kit. So the embellishment kit, the book with the design code, and the fabrics are in one kit, and we have those ready. The price of the kit before the discount is $219. We take 20% off of that, which is about $40 some off of that. So it's going to be around $180 in that ballpark range. So if you're interested in that kit, let us know. We do have a limited number, but we do have them up here. If you're interested only in the embroidery design, we do have the embroidery designs and the embellishment kits in case you would want to do your own fabrics. And just because we have a great way, I just dropped something, to show you the fabrics. We have layer cakes of the fabric. So this is the Kimberbell layer cake, and see, it says right there, this is Star Spangled Beauty, but you can't see the fabrics on that because it's all wrapped up. So we have charm packs, and if I kind of flip through this, you can see they're just really cute fabric. So we have the charm packs, the layer cakes, and the jelly rolls. And I'm doing a class called Jelly Roll Twist. I think it's in May. It's the middle of May. And these fabrics would be wonderful. And you add one little background piece that goes through all the blocks. I'm thinking maybe I'm going to have to use this one to do my sample. Isn't that cute? I think it's so cute. We also, on another totally different thing, this is a layer cake from Benartex. It is called Autumn Breeze, and a lot of these, I like the way they package these because they show you a picture of the fabrics, and a lot of these are textures with swirls in them, and then these are the ones that have the leaves on them. So they're this is Nancy Halverson. A lot of you have done a lot of Nancy Halverson things. She did all the Wander Lane patterns that we did some classes on that too. So that's a brand new layer cake that came in. We've gotten so much new fabric in, it's really, really fun. Okay, I'm going to turn this around and go over to my sewing machine for just a minute. And let me see if I can turn this around without making a mess. You know, sometimes I don't do well. And this is my iPad, so I'm going to try not to get too close here. I'm starting to do the piecing on the quilt that I was showing you, not the Kimberbell one, but the one that I've been working on. This is my fat quarter bundle for that. So one of the first things I have to do is lay a 3.5 inch square on top of a 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangle. Not that that makes a big deal. And then you draw a line corner to corner on the squares. After you stitch it, it folds up like that, and then you would press it, and that's what's been done on this one. Sometimes it's hard to explain to people because when you draw that line corner to corner, if you stitch right on the line, when you fold it up, it will be kind of like that, and so the edges will not match. It wouldn't be quite that bad. So you actually have to stitch just a little bit to the right or left, whichever way you're going. This is going to go that way. So I would stitch on the right side of the line. So I don't know if you can see my stitching. See how it's on the right edge of the line? So that way when I press it up, and this one's not pressed real well yet, when I look on the back, that's the key, is do I see any of that square sticking out? And I don't. So I think I did a good job. The directions indicate that you should cut away, I'm doing this with one hand, should cut away this, could cut this back to 1/4 of an inch. So you'd be cutting 2 layers of fabric off. So over here it would be cutting right there. But on this particular fabric, if you cut that off, I'm going to lay this on top of this fabric. See how you can kind of see the print through there? Those little blue candy canes, it kind of makes a shadow. So that's something you kind of have to decide based on what fabric you're using. So I'm not going to cut it off. I'm just going to press it over and make sure it's just right. And so I've got some of those to do, and then I have some half square triangles to do, and then I have an applique block that goes in the middle of this block once I get those done. The thing I wanted to show you that was new, I have this fancy dancy water sponge because I drew my line with a water-soluble marker. Sometimes I don't really pay attention to trying to get it out. I don't worry about it. This particular quilt has a lot of light colors in it. So if I don't take that line out, it might show through the white. So I have my dampened sponge here, which works just fine. You could use the air dissolve marker, and that would go away on its own. Or, look at this. I just discovered this. It's called Aqua Touch markers. These are 3 different tubes that you put water or starch in. Some of you use the acorn starch to get the wrinkle out of the center of a piece of fabric when it's folded and so forth. So, and that could be one, but there's 3 different size tips on this. So when you fill these with water, it suggests different, this is from Marn Casey, it suggests different things that you can use it for. There's a 3mm, 8mm, and a brush tip. Now, I don't own this yet, but I'm planning on owning it, and it says scan for a video demo, which I think would be wonderful. So you could keep this next to your sewing machine to get rid of the lines, or if you have the starch, to get rid of the wrinkle. And what I mean by that is you put that acorn product in there, you run it down that fold or any place else that you have a bad fold, and then press it, and it takes that wrinkle out. It's hard to get that wrinkle out of the center of fabric. For those of you who piece a fabric for the back of a quilt, sometimes when you sew those 2 45-inch wide pieces together, you can't get those wrinkles, which were originally the fold of the fabric. So I think these things are just really cool. They're $10.99, I think, before any discount, which I think is well worth it. We have another product that looks like this that's called a fabric folding pen, which is the opposite. It's the thing that when you run down a line, it lets you crease your fabric beautifully, like for hemlines, prairie points, anything like that. It's perfect. So this is exactly the opposite of that. So tell me, I just think this is way cool. So I'm just going to have to get me one of those. I'm just going to go out and have to pay for one out there and do that. So I wanted to show you that. I'm hoping to get some of these done so I can get some of the applique stitches. There were a few places on the pattern. They're like gingerbread cookies, and you're supposed to cut these skinny little white pieces to look like frosting. And I thought, you know what? I have a lot of really neat stitches on my machine. So I'm just going to go to my machine and choose one of those satin stitches that kind of goes in a wavy line. And my cookies are going to have that for their frosting designs rather than cutting out those really skinny little things. So wish me luck. I had another brand new kit come in today that I have committed myself to making. It is a Jason Yetner quilt made from Border Quilt, and it kind of makes kaleidoscopes in the middle of the quilt and then has a beautiful floral border, and I'll try and show you that soon too. So I have a lot on my plate. I learned a quilt that starts tonight. There's still time if any of you would like to get signed up for that. It starts tonight, and then it's 3 Mondays in a row. Tomorrow we have the Kimberbell Rope Bowl in the morning, and then Barbara's Scan and Cut project in the afternoon. Then later in the week on Thursday, we have the Design Center Basics class. So if you've never used Design Center, which is something that's on some of the Brother machines, go ahead and get signed up for that. If you brought machine here, that's free. And then on Friday, there's a class on Friday morning, which I can't remember what it is right now. And then I think we have the Tamarack jacket is on Saturday. And I still need some people to get signed up for that. So if you have a chance and are interested in doing the jacket, I have 4 of them here that are all done. They're all a little bit different to kind of give you some ideas if you want to do that project. It's really not a hard project, and it's a fun jacket to do. So thanks for watching today. I will try and see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I had to take the doggy to the vet this morning just to get her yearly shots, and she has to go on a diet. She's 1.5 pounds too heavy. So I wish I was only 1.5 pounds too heavy, but unfortunately that's not the answer. But the vet, it was a vet that I hadn't seen before, and she just loved Sassy, and Sassy seemed to love her back. So we had a good time. So she's not here at the store today. I had her go back home just in case she gets a little bit sore or something like that, because she got 2 shots, and then I have to take her back in a couple weeks to get 2 more treatments too. So, and I know some of you don't have dogs and you could care less about my dogs, but I'm sorry, they're my babies. So thanks for tuning in today. If there's anything in particular that you want to see, if you want me to lay back a Kimberbell kit for you, just let me know, as well as the layer cakes, jelly rolls, or charm packs. Just put it on the messages at the bottom of the Facebook post, and I'll take care of it for you. Okay? Have a great afternoon, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.